welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jessica, also known as Chicprofessor on Instagram, and I make videos on luxury goods, sustainable fashion, and workwear. Today's video is another addition to my Sustainable Fashion 101 series and the start of the luxury brands and sustainability section of that video. So we're gonna start with one of the top 3 luxury brands, and that is Chanel. So we are gonna start with Chanel. We're gonna go over claims that they're making. Are they kind of legitimate? What are they doing in terms of sustainability or not doing in terms of sustainability? So let's go ahead and get started. For this one, I'm gonna go through the steps that they've taken in terms of a timeline. So Chanel didn't do anything with sustainability until about 2015. And in 2015, they adopted the UN's sustainability goals, but they didn't actually really do anything about that. They just said, oh, those are goals for the future that we would also like to adapt, but they didn't make any steps really towards that. The first step that they did make, which happened somewhere between 2015 and 2018, was to look at their perfume bottles and figure out a way to make the glass smaller so that it had a lower carbon footprint. So the glass was now thinner, it was easier and lighter for them to transport, that sort of thing. In 2018, they published their first environmental report. So it talked about different aspects of their business and also actually maybe put down some goals of what they wanted to accomplish. This was also the year that they decided to ban exotics and fur. So that happened towards the end of 2018, which was around the time that a bunch of different brands were starting to do that. But it was a big deal coming from Chanel because exotics were certainly a large portion of their bag collection, and especially some of the most exciting bags or the most luxurious, the most hard to reach bags in their collection. And 2019 was the biggest year, which is not a surprise in terms of sustainability. So the first thing that happened in terms of sustainability for 2019 was that they joined, along with many other brands, the G7 Pact, which was an environmental fashion pact that was put on by Kering, which was in the public for different brands to sign up for so that they could pledge to become more sustainable. So Chanel joined with that and then also published a large CSR, corporate social responsibility, talking about a lot of their goals. I read through a lot of the CSR and I will say that they have a lot of lofty goals, but they don't have any real proven way of getting to them. They say like, oh, we're going to cut emissions by this time, or we're going to look into our supply chain more and do this, but they don't have any real like scientific goals or discussion of how they're actually going to achieve those goals. And a lot of them are really far out. So things that are happening by 2030, I think they might be expecting that sustainability is a trend that is going to go away, and therefore they're not going to actually have to act on those pledges. One of the steps in 2019 that they took that actually was not vague, that they actually discussed, was in their beauty packaging. So the beauty sustainability coordinator seems to be on top of her stuff a little bit more than maybe everyone else in the company really seems to be. And so they started working with a brand called Sulapak to be able to make biodegradable packaging for their beauty because they understood that all of this plastic was a real problem. Now, in order to do this, they actually became minority stakeholders in this company and invested in this company. So there is some question into whether or not they are maybe doing this in the most ethical way. They're doing it for the environment, or they're doing it because it's a business initiative for them. We don't really know. Still, any step towards being better is certainly a good thing. The other company that they invested in, but again, haven't released how much of a minority stakeholder they are in the company and kind of what they're doing to help that company, is called Evolved by Nature. And that, if you watch my video on animal-based materials, it's about their silks. They are looking to use less chemicals with their silk and then also to create new technologies in the silk factor. So that's a good step forward as well. They are hoping that this new technology will also replace a lot of the synthetic materials that they use in their company. So that is also a helpful thing. So, that's really it. That's what's happening in terms of Chanel. They're making a lot of blanket, vague statements, which at least they're addressing it. You know, it's not a fully terrible thing, but it certainly could be. They could be doing a lot more, and if people don't kind of follow up with them or ask questions about those things, then they can probably continue to remain vague while feeling like they've accomplished something because they have put these statements out there. So anyway, that is what Chanel has put out into the world right now in terms of sustainability. And I have to be honest with you, it's better than I thought. It is by no means great. They are definitely not the most sustainable of the luxury brands that I'm going to be talking about, not by any means, but I kind of expected them to have done pretty much nothing. They're known for having done some very extravagant things, like actually taking glaciers and bringing them into their fashion shows, which of course, you know, is a problem. So they are making some steps. Now, I am a little bit of a cynic, and I don't think that they would personally be making those steps if they weren't getting pressure from other brands to do so, and if they didn't think that sustainability was an important trend to appease some of their customers. I'm not sure if they're actually doing it because they want to be making a difference and how much they're actually going to follow through. So vague statements are better than no statements, but of course, if you're voting with your money, you know, that's something to keep in mind, which companies you want to support with that sort of thing. But I do have to say that since 2018 especially, every year they've done quite a bit more. So I am excited to see what changes they decide to make for 2020 and if they start making any progress towards their goals, because their CSR report is very long and very detailed. They certainly talk about how important sustainability is to Chanel. Hopefully they will actually make some real steps forward so we can see that in action rather than just in words. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are interested in hearing more, I will be doing a bunch of different luxury brands, I think 8 in total. So thank you all again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video.